All right guys, today we are on the Trek Top Fuel 7, and this bike is actually a bike that I haven't really even thought about or even been interested in. As time went on and I figured out what kind of riding I like, and after doing that cross-country race at Trek, a lot of people were riding Top Fuels and it really piqued my interest. So I said, you know what? Let's try out a Top Fuel. And shout out to Trek Boulder for making this possible, letting us use this bike for a few videos for you guys to show you what it can do and my thoughts on it. Also, we have another Trek Fuel EX coming to make some videos on that, and I think I'll be doing the Trek Roscoe 7 also. So make sure you stay subscribed so you don't miss those videos. But the one thing I noticed right away with this bike is it's a pedaling machine. I kind of wanted to bring it out here on a gravel trail just to see what it feels like. Kind of pedal it before I take it out to an actual trail, get a feel of it, because this is a size medium. I wanted to try out a medium because I feel like a medium is my actual size, but I like to ride a medium large because I like that little bit of extra bike, because the Trek bikes, in my opinion, are still very nimble. But I wanted to try a medium out just to see what it feels like. And this color is so sick. It's just blacked out, stealthy. I really like it a lot. And another thing I noticed right away with this bike is these bars are actually a lot shorter than a lot of stock bars that come on bikes nowadays, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure if it's because this is a XC bike or if it's just they didn't want to put those super wide bars on here. But one other thing I noticed on this bike is that it has the TRP brakes, the same ones I have on my Imminent Onset. And I'm not sure if that was the intent or it was a supply issue and they just had to put some on here, because if you look on the website, they come with Shimano, but they have TRPs on here. You know I'm not complaining. I love the TRP brakes. Right now, this bike is about $400 off. It was retail $3,500 down to $3,100 now. So you get a lot of bike for the price, in my opinion, if you do cross-country riding, because you got a RockShox 35 on the front, you got the Fox float on the rear, you got XT derailleur and SLX cranks. It's spec pretty high for the price you pay. So I think $3,100 is, I mean, it's $3,100 still, but I think that's pretty good for what you get with this bike. Now the bike I'm riding right now is a size medium, and it actually fits pretty decent. I mean, it fits me as far as my size. I prefer a medium large, but the medium will definitely fit me. I'm about 5'8", and the medium large is what I choose, but I think the medium actually fits me better. I just like a little bit bigger setup when it comes to the Trek bikes, because they are already so nimble, so I can have that little bit of extra reach that I like to have to keep the stability and a little bit more comfort in my ride. I don't feel crammed on this bike. I just feel really upright, and I don't feel like I'm in a trail ready position, if that makes any sense. But with the medium large, it feels a little bit more aggressive to me. So I feel technically I should be riding a medium, but I prefer the medium large because of my riding style. But this thing rides really good, pedals good. I have the front and rear suspension unlocked, and it's pedaling pretty fast. I just wanted to bring it out here and get it on a gravel trail and pedal it before I take it on an actual trail. Spots like this is where this bike shines. I'm gonna take this little gradual hill up here and see what it feels like on the climb. Oh yeah, it just kills it. It feels so light too. For this bike to be aluminum, it actually feels pretty light. This is only 120 front and rear, but I do think this thing can handle a lot of trails. I think a lot of people, including myself, well, I used to underestimate 120 travel bikes, but when you got front and rear suspension, 120 can do a lot, especially if you don't ride a lot of chunky, crazy terrain. And that's one thing I like about this bike, is it's so versatile. Because if you did want to get a little more travel, this does max out at 130 on the front. So you could put a 130 on the front fork and it'd still be good, which would turn this bike into a trail machine for sure. Because let's be honest with ourselves, guys, A lot of us, we got all this travel on these bikes and we actually don't even need it. Now I can somewhat justify needing it because of the trails we ride out here in Colorado, but even still, as you guys see, I ride 140, 150 max because my Trek Roscoe 9 is a 140. My Imminent Onset is a 150. I hardly ride my Remedy because I just don't really have any use for it like I thought. So I mostly ride my Trek Roscoe 9 and my Imminent Onset. But if I had this bike, this is a bike that I could definitely see myself riding a lot, because we do have a lot of pretty cool cross-country trails around here. Well, this bike would be a blast to ride. I used to underestimate this bike, but now I see why people like this bike. Because like I said, a lot of people, this is all the suspension they need. And for this bike to be able to pedal as good as it does and be able to handle trails, why wouldn't you want to ride this bike? Plus, with the lack of long travel, that means they get to put more high-spec components on the bike, which make a bigger difference in my opinion. One thing I forgot to mention on this bike, if I'm not mistaken, it used to always be on the more expensive bikes. I may be wrong, but this bike has the internal storage, which is awesome. Now we are off the gravel onto some concrete, and it's still pushing along. Great pedal efficiency. Yeah, I can't believe I was underestimating the top fuel this whole time. That's why I'm glad I was able to do that race at Trek. Make sure you go check that video out. I'll leave the link in the description. I was able to race at Trek trails, and it was mostly XC trails. So that's what really opened my eyes up to the whole XC bike style, because I had never been interested in it or tried it. Pedaled around a few people's top fuels and I said, oh, okay, I kind of see why y'all like this stuff. A lot of people think XC bikes are boring, but these things are actually a lot of fun, and XC trails can be fun if you're in shape. I will admit, I was in decent shape when I was there, but not as good a shape as I could have been. But if you are in shape and you ride XC bikes on XC trails, especially a bike like the Top Fuel 7, this bike will be so much fun. And this is one where you could do what I'm doing. You can bring it out, ride it around the neighborhood and feel totally comfortable, and doesn't even feel like you're riding a full suspension bike. So I'm headed back home now. Just wanted to give you guys my first impressions on this bike. This is actually my first time riding one for an extended period of time, and I'm really digging it. I just wanted to see what it pedals like, get the feel of it under me, and try to get a little bit comfortable before we hit the trails tomorrow, because tomorrow it's game time and we get to see what this bike can do. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss that video. Trek Fuel EX coming, Trek Roscoe 7 coming, and many more. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Whew, I'm out of breath. I'm out of shape.